Welcome to another exciting episode from Marvelous Videos. I'm your host, Tia Aya. Top 9 anatomical facts about She-Hulk. Can she get pregnant? Jennifer Walters. She-Hulk is a ridiculously strong superhero in Marvel Comics. Apart from having powers similar to that of the Incredible Hulk, her being weaker when it comes to the brute strength actually acts as a gift, because that way, she gets to have better control over her mind. Her powers are super versatile, and she can pull off various feats. This naturally makes her super special and lethal all at the same time. Some of these physiological abilities also make certain things about her downright strange, while others add an edge to her as a character.
Now, one little green-blooded transfusion from you and ba-boom!
In this video, we will go over the cool physiological and anatomical abilities that make her unique. We will also stay true to the title of the video and talk about whether she can get pregnant or not. But the answer to this particular question is going to be kinda gross. You have been warned. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Number 1. She-Hulk possesses the ability to manipulate gamma radiation. To be a Hulk, you would need to overdose on gamma radiation. It is not an ideal scenario, but hey, you win some and you lose some. Following an attack by mobsters on Jennifer Walters, she was saved from the brink of death by her cousin, Bruce Banner, or the Incredible Hulk. As he transfused his blood to hers, Jennifer became a host body for excess amounts of gamma radiation, and soon turned into She-Hulk. As She-Hulk, Jennifer can control her powers at will, and absorb more gamma radiation externally. This ability to manipulate and emit gamma radiation at will allows Jennifer to boost her powers whenever necessary. Her strength, speed, agility, and durability greatly benefit from this ability as well. As someone who gets to retain her intelligence despite turning into the super strong, gamma-infused monster, Jennifer becomes truly unstoppable. However, everything has a weakness. And in the case of Jen's ability to manipulate the gamma radiation, being around mutants who can perform feats like absorb radiation or who are amped by gamma radiation themselves can cause her powers to go haywire, which seems to be a cause of concern with the Hulks. This is basically what happened when the presence of the radiation-absorbing Jack of Hearts caused She-Hulk to tear visions apart. Number 2. She can reach superhuman heights with her jumps. It is no secret that the Hulk can leap up to superhuman heights. The first Avengers film portrays this perfectly as Hulk jumps onto and across the New York City skyscrapers while he decimates the Chitauri. As She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters can do the same thing. Her extraordinary physical form allows her to jump above 600 feet. In the 2005 She-Hulk comics, the 7th issue revolved around the external Star Fox, or Eros, being involved in a court case for manipulating a married woman into sleeping with him. Jennifer acted as his lawyer, but she had also gotten sexually intimate with him previously. And when she learned that Star Fox was capable of using his abilities to manipulate people into sleeping with him, she was obviously bummed out. Due to the threat of Star Fox's powers posed, he was shifted to a high-security prison facility where he would not get the opportunity to communicate with other prisoners. Meanwhile, a pissed-off She-Hulk was desperate to get to him. She literally jumped from downtown New York to Rikers Island in one giant leap, which is approximately an 11-mile distance. As Star Fox tried to escape from the new prison, she then beat him senseless. Other than this, she often uses this incredible ability during her battles. Let's thank her insane leg muscles for that. Guess this is what happens when you do not skip leg day. Number 3. Her body can be swapped with another. This ability is not inherently hers, but this is an ability that she can be able to use, thanks to an ally from the Ovoid race, who taught her how to do so. The 2000s chick flick Freaky Friday played around with the concept of a mother and daughter getting their consciousness swapped. The Ovoid race is renowned for being able to pull off such a feat. In the 45th issue of the sensational She-Hulk, her friends and fellow captives from the Ovoid race tried to teach her this ability. However, the excess gamma radiation in Jen's body caused the technique to falter, and instead of being able to swap consciousness, she swapped her physical body with that of Wheezy's. This resulted in Wheezy, who was aboard a squirrel ship, ending up with the She-Hulk's physical form, while She-Hulk was suddenly a 5'2" human, without any other of her super abilities. Thankfully, the switch was temporary. Number 4. She can turn gray. Gray is the new green. The Hulk and She-Hulk are characterized by the fact that they turn green. There are just so many catchphrases about their color in general, but for She-Hulk, green is not the only color on her palette, which becomes evident in the 15th issue of the sensational She-Hulk comic series. In that issue, she shared the spotlight with Howard the Duck, and during a battle sequence, she almost got overwhelmed by the sheer number of demonic monsters present. Almost. Jennifer hulked out at that moment to fight the enemy, but instead of taking her regular green form, she turned gray while being extremely angry. What was cool here was that Stan Lee had originally intended for the Hulk to be gray instead of green, but he had to discard the original idea due to issues with the ink. Number 5. Radiation fulfilled her subconscious desire. Following the blood transfusion Jennifer had gotten from Bruce Banner after being shot and wounded by a crime boss, Jen got the abilities of the Hulk. However, in her case, her powers were not as crazy as that of her cousins, but this allowed her to control it better. She also did not have to deal with looking like a scary monster. With more precise control over the gamma radiation, Jen chose to go for a prettier look compared to that of Bruce Banner's Hulk. In fact, she ended up looking the way she subconsciously wanted to. Plus, she loved the strength that came with this form. Cannot blame her for that. Initially, the transformations were less controlled. After Michael Morbius cured her blood disease, she was able to gain control over her ability and then choose to stay as She-Hulk instead of returning to her more fragile human form. Later, as a part of the Fantastic Four, she had to deal with preventing a radiation leak, as someone whose physiology had already been severely tampered with because of excessive gamma radiation. And exposure to more radiation caused She-Hulk to lose the ability to turn back into a human. As terrifying as that may sound, it was not an issue, since Jen always desired to remain as She-Hulk. And the block in the transformation ability was also revealed to be psychological, in the sense that it probably would not affect her this way if she did not wish to stay as and be the She-Hulk forever.
No one fights the absorbing man without going through me!
Number 6. Expert martial artist. Generally, superheroes who do not have incredible physical power and raw strength lean towards the more technical side of fighting. Technique can outdo raw strength after all. This is why every time Batman weakens Superman with kryptonite, the Bat is able to overpower the Kryptonian. He has the skills. This is also why someone like the Hulk just smashes everything in his way, while Captain America is a lot more skilled as a martial artist. She-Hulk is someone who has trained with the likes of Captain America and Gamora. So not only does she have the immense brute strength, but she also has the technique and the martial art chops. This helps her shine in her fight against the super powerful Abomination. Initially, she doubts herself, especially due to the fact that she is not as strong as her cousin, and by extension not as strong as the Abomination. During her fight against the Abomination, he acts super confident, as he is convinced that she can never beat him. However, She-Hulk's technical chops help her turn the tides of the battle, albeit temporarily. Number 7. Can She-Hulk get pregnant? Yes. She-Hulk can get pregnant, and we see that in Mark Millar's miniseries, Old Man Logan. However, this part of the story turns creepy and almost gross when you realize who impregnated She-Hulk. The story is set in an alternate universe where supervillains control the United States. The heroes have been wiped out, barring a few, and old Logan, who does not operate as Wolverine anymore, happens to be one of them. Hawkeye is also a part of the story, with his family and farm being threatened by something known as the Hulk Gang. And no, the gang is not a result of several people being exposed to gamma radiation. Instead, it is a result of the Hulk and She-Hulk breeding with each other. This feels very Targaryen, but worse. Fortunately, writers explore these weird concepts in alternate universe scenarios, mainly because doing so within the mainstream universe would not be the greatest of ideas. Number 8. She can break the fourth wall. This is not anatomical at all, but this is too fun to be ignored. Breaking the fourth wall is one of the coolest things that can happen in entertainment and fiction, mainly because the disconnect between the characters and the audience is suddenly broken, that too abruptly. To put it simply, the fourth wall is the abstract boundary that exists between the audience and the characters. Characters like Deadpool and Fleabag are renowned in the world of entertainment for constantly breaking the fourth wall. The Office is also known for doing this, as the characters often look straight into the camera and by extension at the audience. She-Hulk does this too, and she actually did it way before Deadpool did. In fact, her interactions go beyond the audience. She addresses the writers and even the editors from time to time, not just in her own comic series, but in others as well. For example, in the 14th issue of Heroes for Hire, she fires the narrator, who then fights back and shifts the blame towards Stan Lee, his girlfriend, and Monica Lewinsky. Ant-Man and Luke Cage witness this, even though they never break the fourth wall themselves. As a result, they only observe She-Hulk and are unable to look at the staff that Jennifer can address. This is not a superpower and instead is more of a character quirk that the writers have used for her. But since she is one of the few characters to do so, it is very special to She-Hulk. Number 9. Immune to telepathy. The Marvel Universe is very saturated with mutants who have psionic abilities, namely the X-Men characters such as Professor X, Jean Grey, Psylocke, and the likes. As a result, being immune to telepathy is a massive advantage. Avengers: Age of Ultron give us a glimpse into the Hulk being psychologically manipulated by Wanda Maximoff and going berserk. But that's not exactly mind control, which is something he is more or less immune to, thanks to the chaos in his head. This is an ability that Jennifer's She-Hulk possesses as well. But this is not as foolproof as it sounds, since she can become a victim to different forms of manipulation that may cause her to act out as the Hulk did in Age of Ultron. In fact, her whole fiasco about marrying John Jameson and being abnormally in love with him was inorganic, as it was caused by Star Fox's powers. Jennifer Walters balances life as an incredible superhero, a lawyer, and a person with a dynamic romantic life. So aside from her several anatomical and quirky abilities, her most insane ability is to be able to fill all of these roles fantastically. In a way, turning into a green monster sounds more realistic than being able to manage such a life as an adult. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.
I'm not proud of this.